Okay, here's Bob and Cara, season 1, episode 2. Cara, say hey.
Hey, hey.
And this week we're going to talk about our immediate family and my our German family. And Cara, you go ahead and start on your family.
Well, let's see. I grew up in Midwest City, moved to Norman in my early 20s. Met Taylor's dad. I have one daughter, Taylor, who was 30 years old. She is in the real estate business here in Norman, does an amazing job. She and I have just been each other's person since day one, pretty much. Her and her dad and I, we divorced when she was 6, and we plugged along until, like we mentioned in the first episode, until she was 15. And after that, she's just taken on the world, and I'm really super proud of her. And she has her man, Colby. They have a house they built out in Little Axe and living and doing great. I'm proud of both of them, and I feel very blessed that Taylor has Colby, and we just move right along in life and take whatever punches we get and make the best out of them. And she and the two of them are just amazing. I couldn't be more blessed to have a daughter that's done what she's done and proved to be an amazing woman. Then I'm also blessed to have 2 stepdaughters. I call them my daughters because that's how I feel they are to me. One of Bob's daughters chooses not to be in her life, which is fine. She's living her own life and does her own thing. But then we have our daughter, Misty, who is also one of the most amazing, beautiful people I've ever known in my life. She's absolutely I don't know how to put it into words. I love her and she loves me. And she and her husband, Eric, live in Lindsay. And she will be my daughter till the day I die, no matter whatever happens in my world, because she's just part of my heart. Then we have 5 granddaughters on Bob's side, and so they're also my 5 granddaughters, and each one of them is the most unique personalities I've ever dreamed to introduce myself to.
Yeah. Start with the oldest.
Hartley is our oldest granddaughter. She is 25, I think. She's lived in Norman, she's lived in Moore, she's lived in the south side of Oklahoma City, she's now back in Lindsay. She's our most unique, has the greatest personality, very outspoken in her thoughts, and just lovely to the core. Karsten is on the next one down. She's right there with Hartley in age.
Like 24, I think.
Yeah. And she lives in Okemah, outside Okemah.
Yeah, a little town called Welty.
And has 2 of our great grandbabies, and then we have Keely and Trenton, who are still in Lindsay, and they have another one of our great grandbabies. And then we have
Keely and Trent is her significant other.
Yeah, and they are beautiful parents. I'm so proud of them. And then we have Cortland and Harper, who are a month and a half apart. And Cortland works her little tail off, and Harper's our first granddaughter to attend college. And so that's the kiddos in a nutshell. Lots of girls. So I'm so blessed. I don't really have a lot of words besides how thankful and grateful I am to God above for giving me this amazing family.
Yeah, and Misty's husband, Eric, don't know if you mentioned his name earlier. We call him... I call him Lil E, and he and Misty's been married 20 plus years, and they've gone through some trials and tribulations. Misty got sick, and she's recovered from that. She's doing outstanding, and we're proud of her. And Eric and her are just now being empty nesters. The younger one went to college about 2 hours away from where they live, so I know Misty's probably struggling with the empty nest syndrome, but she's done a good job raising the kids and with the circumstances she had to deal with, and we're proud of her. And like Cara said, we're proud of all the grandchildren, and believe it or not, we have 3 great grandchildren, and we're still pretty young. So it's a blessing that we've got to see the children and the grandchildren growing up. Cara, let's talk about our German family and kind of give some background to that.
Okay, well, Bob mentioned it in the first episode that he had a foreign exchange student about 26 years ago. And Karen is her name. Her husband is Christian. They have 2 children, Colin and Chloe. And as I saying again, he mentioned it that's where we went on our honeymoon, and that's the first time I got to meet the family. Since then, we have just grown. I mean, you would think they were our next door neighbors as much as we communicate with them and are interchangeably living each other's life together, but abroad, if that makes any sense. We talk to them definitely. Karen, her sister, has deceased. She died at a very young age, unexpectedly. And so her 2 children, her nephew and niece, have now become a huge part of our family. And Charisma, being the daughter, she's the oldest of the 2, has now the last 3 summers come and stayed anywhere from 3 weeks to this past summer was a little over 2 weeks.
Yeah, 2.5, 3 weeks.
And so basically, I would say where Karen is Bob's daughter, with quotes around it, Charisma has become mine, which is just another one of those experiences that you wake up and go, wow, dear Heavenly Father, thank you. How did I get this blessed? And so it's been an experience I would have never in my life ever have had without Karen being in Bob's life. And she came over here, was she 16 when she got here? Or was she?
Yeah, 16. She came here when 16. She went, like I said, she was a foreign exchange student, and I got married pretty young. I was in high school, got married, raised the 2 children. I kind of had the empty nest syndrome when they were both on their own ways. And I asked the wife at the time, I said, would you be interested in, to entertain an idea of having a foreign exchange student? So, and she was. What we did, I said, okay, let's contact the organization. We contacted them. They gave us a book. We probably had 50 to 75 students that were looking for parents in the United States. So we combed through that. It's me, the wife at the time, my 2 children, and my mother-in-law. I said, let's all look at every picture and kind of glance over their resume, and then we'll decide, and let's pick 5 students that we like each. Then it's all secret ballot. Then at the end of it, we'll see if any of them have more votes, and we'll just go with that one. Karen was on every single ballot from the 5 of us, and there wasn't anybody even close. So she was by far the winner. And I said, let's contact the organization. We contacted them, and it took about a week or 2 before the paperwork. Karen gets information. Karen's mother gets information. They scroll it. They look at our resumes, and then they decide if they ultimately want to come here. And once, like I said, about 2 weeks later, we get the letter from the organization, said that she's accepted and she'll be here. And I think she got here in May of '95 or '96. So it's actually been 27 or 8 that we've been related. And she came over. She had finished her official studies in Germany, and so she came here as a senior in high school and went to class like a senior. She worked with the athletic department, and she was in was the filming crew on the basketball games and such. She got to travel with them, and her English at the beginning was a little bit hard to understand, but the time she got finished with her year, she could speak better English than I could. So the end of the school year comes, and she says, "Bob, I need to talk to you." And I said, "Well, what is it?" She says, "Well, school's going to be over pretty soon, and I want to know if I can stay another month and a half till the end of July, if I could." I said, "Well, that's fine with me." And she said, "I already talked to my mom, and she said I could." So actually, ended up staying 13 or 14 months with our family, and during that time, her brother came over with one of his friends and stayed with us a couple of weeks. So we got to meet her brother, her friend. So we really hit it off. We
Didn't her folks come over too?
yes, during the time that Karen was here, her family came. We met them in Utah and went skiing together. So we was able to meet them in Utah, ski together. Had a great time doing that. They went back home. Karen went back home, and that was in, like I say, end of July. I asked X at the time, I said, would you like to go over there in Thanksgiving, following, the same year in Thanksgiving time here, and go to Germany? So we contacted her mother, Karen's mother, and said we'd like to come over there and spend a week or so, and we'd like to surprise Karen. And so she was, Karen's mother, Anne Marie, said, oh, that'd be outstanding. So we did go over there in Thanksgiving, and we was able to get to her house. She was out, and when she came back, we was in the house sitting there, and she walked into the door, and she didn't recognize us or see us at the very first. And when she did, she said, "Oh my God, Bob!" And it was outstanding. So ever since then, we've been close. I've been over there with the ex 2 or 3 times, with my present wife three times.
It's only 3? I thought
3 or 4.
I think that's 4 now.
And then I went over there one time by myself when Karen's father passed away. He had some health issues, and he passed away, and Karen called me. I said, well, I'm going to come over there and see you. And but anyway, we did that, and that's how we have, I call it the German family, because like I said, we've been associated with Karen and her family for 20 probably,
I think it's 28 years.
27 or 8 years. Cara, my wife, has been associated with them for right at 15 years. She's got like I said, her own child of Charisma, and they have a special connection that I think that the connection is, Charisma lost her mother in a tragic circumstances when she was very young. And Cara has been able to maybe feel that time that Charisma didn't have the opportunity to have a mom to talk to, and such as that. And like I said, she came over here the last 3 years, and she got to a point in her career that she said, I can't come over next year. I'm doing my final studies for my adult world career, and she's motivated. She's driven. She does an outstanding job doing that, and she's focused on getting that. She said, once I get my career going and making adult salary, said it'll open some doors where we can see each other a lot more. Cara, you got anything else you want to say?
I'm just going to add that, can you imagine being 16 years old, foreign exchange student, you live outside of Hamburg in Germany, and you've lived whole life doing your thing, and you end up in Lindsay, Oklahoma, as a foreign exchange student?
Yeah.
When Bob and I met, I didn't know where Lindsay was, and here I was in Norman. I was like, where is Lindsay?
Yeah.
So then I have a child now that traveled across the world to go spend a year and loved it with all of her heart. So.
Yeah, and where she came from, she lives in a smaller community, but it's just a suburb of Hamburg, which is one of the larger cities in Germany. It's probably, I would say, is probably 1 million plus population. Lindsay, Oklahoma at the time was 2,500 people. So she Karen had quite a culture shock when she first came over, and well,
it was the best thing that ever happened to her, though.
But she learned she learned that the pace is a heck of a lot slower in Oklahoma, especially Lindsay, Oklahoma, than it was in Hamburg and even the suburbs where she was living. But time is over with. she loved it. She embraced her family, and it's kind of funny. She said she went back to Germany right after she'd been over here a year, and went and talked to one of her English teachers that is in the school that taught in the German class, taught the English language, and Karen was talking to the teacher in English, and Karen said, "Oh my gosh, where in the world in the United States have you been?" And said, "I've been to Oklahoma." So she picked up the Okie slang, the all the redneck verses, ain'ts and y'alls, and the draws and all that. So
Absolutely mortified her teacher. I
Oh,
said
yeah.
mortified her teacher. She was suddenly looked at her and like, "Where have you been?"
Okay, well, believe it or not, we're gonna cut this. That kind of gives a background of our family. I'll say my family, her family, and our family, and our German family. So we've been blessed to have an extended family, and like I said, we've got to be able to communicate and even visit them. They've come and visited us, and we just love them to pieces. And hopefully, in the next year or so, too, we'll have an opportunity for their family to come back over and see us. But that's all we're going to do on this. And like I said, this is our second podcast that we've ever done in our life. We're trying to figure out how to do it. We're giving background who we are and our family, and work on some other different topics that kind of gets away from the family. But whoever's listening will at least know, okay, we know these guys, and this is what they do every day. So anyway, if you enjoy this podcast, and Cara, you got anything you want to?
Thanks for listening. It's
fine.
just us. So
Yeah.
enjoy.
Enjoy, and Cara's even got a tattoo and a little scroll on her arm. It's very small, and Karen's, our German German daughter, says it is
That it is.
was it is what it is. Anyway, ciao. See you later. Bye.